Thursday last, 13 of the 30 sitting councillors at City Hall voted in support of City Hall going forward with parking meters in Georgetown with SCS, Smart City Solutions. 12 of the other councillors voted against that. These votes were based on options offered, 5 options offered by recommendation of a committee formed by City Council. Today on Hammer Time, how we got here and what's the way forward with parking meters in Georgetown. Stay tuned. As you all know, parking meters were implemented in Georgetown under quite a bit of secrecy by City Council and against the wishes of the citizens of Georgetown and councillors and even persons high up in the political realm. I did a one-man protest in front of City Hall. Deputy Mayor at that time, Sherrod Duncan, did a one-man protest somewhere outside of Bishop's, and most of the businesses after the formation of MEPM movement, most of the businesses threw their support behind that movement and protest against City Hall and parking meters in Georgetown grew. With growing pressure and with a bit of nudging from my hammer, as you all know how I got the nickname Hammerman, being clamped, booted and feeling oppressed about the whole situation, I reacted at the time to the oppressive state that I was in. 3 hours after, Minister Bulkan suspended parking meters in Georgetown. As an effect of that, a few weeks later, a committee was formed that did consultations with members of the public, brought a report forward, and made recommendations, 5 recommendations to be exact, as it relates to parking meters in Georgetown and how it should be if it would be implemented in Georgetown. 5 recommendations were made as of last Thursday. You would know 13 of the councils chose option A. Option A is to continue with parking meters with Smart City Solutions in Georgetown. One of the things I want to emphasize is the council's report is a product of consultations that the council has claimed to have had with citizens of Georgetown. So I mentioned they chose option A. Option A is one of 5 options that were recommended to City Council. Let me give you those options and then we're going to go into option A. Option A, continue the parking meter system with Smart City Solutions. Option B, discontinue the meter parking system with Smart City Solutions. Option C, continue the meter parking system in accordance to law. Option D, continue the meter parking system independently. And option C, wait the outcome of pending court proceedings on the subject matter. So the subtext in one of the requirements, one of the 7 requirements in option A, which is findings of public consultations A, general concerns, states legality of the contract. And that is presently before the courts. So maybe it is not. That is one of the concerns, of the many concerns I'm going to be listing here. Transparency of the process. We knew about the mayors and the councilors' trip to Mexico when they were in Mexico. We knew about the contract when it was already done, signed. Due diligence was not observed. It was not. The transparency of the contract addressed that. Nobody checked as to what was needed, what should have been done, how it should have been done. That is why SCS does not want to give their documentation as relates to that. Termination clause and one-sided accountability. SCS can hold City Council accountable. City Council cannot hold SCS accountable. Dispute resolution and jurisdiction. Anything that goes on within this country should be dealt with by the legal process of this country, or that governs this country. Seize and sell clause. The only document in this country that does not give resolve to people is the bylaws that were created by City Council and SCS. Harsh penalties and booting. You have seen firsthand and you have experienced what that has been like, causing the uproars in Georgetown. Rates for residential parking. People can't afford those kind of rates. Rates for commercial parking. Obviously, businesses were going down on Regent Street because of that. Group rates for taxi and minibuses at $40 and $60 a drop. How much can they pay? Revenue split. Equal share of profits. It's obviously 2080 cannot work. Duration of contract. What is this? A contract of life? Tax concessions. After getting all of what SCS is already getting, they shouldn't be getting anything else. Monopoly on parking. GT&T should have been the last monopoly in this country. Location of meters. You got meters on pavements where pedestrians are walking. A lot of consideration have not been taken of the people. Rates for commercial parking. Cost for parking in general. People have expressed their inability to pay the cost. The economy is bad. We cannot afford it. Lack of consultation. Comes back to what I said before. People don't know about parking meters until they were booted. Transfer of time on cards. They did not take consideration of the people again. Money was being left back in the cards. We need to spend every last cent of our money. It must not be left with SCS. Impact on income and revenue. Guyanese had a first-hand experience for 3 months how it impacted. Georgetown went down. Parking spaces for parking not in good, acceptable conditions. You park your car, you're walking in a pool of water. That is not fair. Size of parking spaces. In light of the dilemma that we're in this country with our drivers, there needs to be a little more space for these individuals. Wages that was being offered. Had City Council looked at if unfair wages were being offered to SCS employees. The list goes on. Exemptions. Smart City Solutions got enough. They should not have been having more exemptions. Traffic congestion in the city. Has City Council done enough to show how SCS and their relationship is going to impact congestion in the city? Car park issues. Attitude of SCS Inc. staff. You have experienced that. People bullying people, people booting people wheels. They have been very unfair in their dealings with citizens. They have not been very friendly. Economic report analysis of the project. One was not done. If it was done, it would have stated Guyanese are incapable of dealing with this at this present time. Designated areas for schools and differently abled persons. No considerations were taken for those persons. That is unfair. In light of all that I just told you, being just a small part of option A, what does this mean for City Council? You can rest assured, in light of the fact that I think City Hall has bitten off more than they can chew, the Guyanese critic will be following up with City Hall's progress and how it deals with this and how it deals with the citizens of Georgetown